Hi, my dear friends. How are you doing today? I hope you're all having a great day. Today, I'm back with a beautiful story. There are a lot of lessons to it, so listen very carefully. Today, my story is about taking other people's advice. Well, do you take other people's advice? Or do you think that you should experience everything by yourself? Well, listen to today's story and you will find out which way is the best one to take. Well, don't go anywhere and stay with me. Long time ago, in the country of Greece, there was an inventor. He was very good at his job, and he could make wonderful things. Everyone liked him and his job. In the little town that he was living in, he had a beautiful little shop, and he sold everything to other people at a very good price. One day, the king of an island sent him a letter. In the letter he said, "Please help us. We have a villain in our town and we want to put him in prison. But he's too smart. He finds the way to get out of every prison and we don't know what to do. We heard that you're such a good inventor. So come to our island and make us a prison." The man thought to himself, "Okay, I will go. They need help, and I can do that for them." He went to the island. The island was so beautiful, and you could see the beautiful ocean everywhere. The inventor and his son were so happy to be there. Days passed and passed, and the inventor thought of something for the prison for the villain. So one day, he was so happy to announce that he could make the prison. So he went to the king and showed him the map. The map was the shape of a maze. Do you think that it was so smart? He made the prison in the shape of a maze so that the villain cannot go out of the prison so easily. There were so many dead ends in the maze, and no one could get out of it except for the inventor that made it himself. The king was so happy, and he gave them a lot of money and told them to go and find a house in the city. But the man said, "I have a home. I want to go there." The king said, "But we cannot let you go. You have to stay here. No one knows the secret of the maze except for you. So I want to have a watchful eye on you." The inventor was so sad. He said, "But you cannot keep me here. I will go." The king got so angry and asked his guards to go and prison the inventor and his son. How cruel the king was, don't you think? He came there to help them, but instead, he put them into the prison. The inventor and his son went to the prison. The prison was in a tall tower. His son was so sad too. He said, "Father, do we have to stay here for the rest of our lives?" Well, what do you think that will happen next? I'll be back after a short break and I will tell you. So don't go anywhere and stay with me. Welcome back! Now, if you remember, the inventor put so much thought into the maze, and he built a great maze that no one could escape. There was a secret in the maze, the secret to how to get out. And the only one who knew the secret was the inventor. But the king was so cruel. He didn't let him go, and he put him in a tall tower, and he put so many guards around it. The inventor and his son were so sad. They couldn't find any way to get out. They knew that the land was full of guards, and if they wanted to run away, they would be caught. The sea was too dangerous too. They knew that every ship will be inspected by the king's guards. So one day, the son asked his father, "What are you gonna do? We will be trapped here for the rest of our lives." The inventor said, "Don't worry, I will find a way." The boy said, "But how? Everywhere is guarded by the king." The man said, "The king guards the land and the sea, but he doesn't guard the air. We can go through there." The boy said, "But how are you gonna do that?" The man said, "Just give me a few days. I will find a way." So every day he climbed up the tower and went to the roof and watched all of the eagles in the sky. So he thought to himself, how do they fly like this? He started to study the wings of the birds. And after some time, he came down and said, "My son, I want you to go up there and catch some birds and eagles for me." His son said, "But what are you gonna do with them?" The man said, "Don't worry and just trust me. I have a plan." What do you think his plan was? Well, after a short break, I'll be back and I will tell you. Welcome back, my dear Hodhod friends. Now, if you remember, the inventor had a plan to escape the tower, but he needed eagles and birds. Why do you think that he needed them? The son didn't know too. So he went and listened to his father's advice and went to the ceiling and took the birds. The man started to investigate and search them so carefully. He saw how the feathers were fitting on the wing, and after some time, he knew that he can make wings. Did you think that it's an awesome idea? The son said, "But how will you keep them together?" The man said, "I know. Every morning they bring us some honey, so we can use the bags and pull all the feathers together." It was a brilliant idea. Don't you think so? Well, the next day, the inventor started to make the wings, and he made beautiful big wings. One day, his son woke up and saw that his father had put on the wings. He said, "Don't you think that it will not work and you will fall down?" The man said, "Well, I will try. You stay here and I will go test these wings." The boy said, "Okay, but be careful." The man walked up the tower. First, he tried to open his wings, and then he tried to jump. It took a while, and then he saw that the wings were working. He thought that this is great. Finally, we can escape this town. His son was watching the whole thing, and then he said, "Father, don't you leave me here." The man said, "Don't worry, I will start making wings for you too." So after some days, his son's wings were ready as well. His son put up the wings, and he wanted to fly just like his father did. But his father said, "It's not time to go yet. You are not strong enough. We have to practice. because there's an ocean ahead of us. The next day, boy started his practice and training, and after 1 month, their arms were strong enough to cross the ocean. Well, what do you think that will happen next? Just wait for a few seconds and I will be back with the rest of the story. Alright, my dear friends, now if you remember, the inventor and his son trained for days and days so they could fly. Isn't that great? They could finally escape their prison. So after 1 month, they were ready. Before they were about to leave, his father said, "Remember, don't fly too close to sun because the wax will melt and you will fall down. The wings won't work like that." The boy said, "Okay," but really, he didn't listen to his father's advice. So they started to fly. And then he had another piece of advice. He said that, "And remember this too, never fly too close to the sea because your wings will get wet and they will be heavy and you will fall down to the ocean. Just go in between, okay? And follow my lead." The son said, "Okay, Dad, I hear you." But really, do you think that he heard his dad? Well, let's see. They started to fly. They were so happy. At first, his son was a little scared. And he thought that, what if we fall down to the sea and drown? But after some time, he saw that it was so fun to fly. And he tried to turn around and have fun. They crossed the ocean. The father and his son were so happy. They finally saw the land, and they thought that we will be in our hometown soon. So the son said, "Well, I have done a good job up until now, and nothing really happened. So what if I go up and up and up?" He didn't say anything to his father, and he forgot what his father's advice was. So he flew up and up and up, and suddenly the warmth of the sun melted down all the waxes. The son was so scared because he was falling down. He fell down on a tree and his arms and legs were broken. His dad didn't see anything. After some time, he looked back and he saw that he cannot find his son. He was so worried. He knew that the son didn't listen to his advice. So he went back and searched and searched and searched, but he couldn't find him. Suddenly, he heard something. It was his son. His son was crying. He was in so much pain. His father said, "Why didn't you listen to my advice? Now look, what have you done?" His son cried and said, "I'm sorry, Dad. I will always listen to your advice. So, can you take me home?" His father took his son and they went home. It took him some time to get better, but he learned something, that you will always listen to your father's advice or you will fall down. Well, did you like today's story? I hope you did. But don't go anywhere. The story is not finished yet. I will be back with the moral of the story. Welcome back. I'm here with the morals of the story. Now, if you remember, the son didn't take his father's advice. And what happened to him? He got all bruised and injured. So, we should remember that we should always take other people's advice, especially our parents. Sometimes you may think that they don't know what's wrong or wrong for you, but you have to know that they are experienced. So whenever your parents say something to you, always remember that and try to put them into practice. Well, I hope that you learned today's story. Now, if you want to share your ideas, you can go to the site hodhodenglish.com. And if you want to contact us, you can find us at Hodhod English TV on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Telegram, and YouTube. Well, that's it for today, and I will miss you very much. Take care of yourselves, and goodbye.